this bar links over to the other side, the other wheel. So whenever you're working on these, both wheels need to be in the same position, whether that's on the ground or in the air, it doesn't matter. But it's really important that you do that. That way it takes out any of the twisting motion that one wheel being up and the other wheel being down imparts onto this bar. Because when this one's up, it tries to pull this one up. That's how it works. It's a sway bar. It's an anti-roll bar. That's its purpose and that's its only function in life. So to do any work on this, either raise it up so both wheels are off the ground or have it sitting on the ground if you've got a pit. Otherwise it's really, really tough. Anyway, what we need to do is change out the bush. Wasn't particularly tight, which would lead me to believe that the bush is worn out, because the tighter it is, means the rubber's pushing back on you. Anyway, maybe I can get my hand in. Oh my word, it's tight. Anyway, there we go. Alright, last couple of threads. Comes off easy. Now the top one wasn't very tight. Bottom one, not crazy tight either. So we'll see. You can go get a socket to make it quicker. But I can't be bothered getting up. I'm laying down. I'm a bit tired today. It was a late night. You know how that goes, right? Oh, one thing I didn't tell you is when you start doing something like this, just give the threads a quick brush. Sometimes spray them with some anti-seize if you see some corrosion. This one's lived in Southern California all its life, so there's very little corrosion on this car. But yeah, it's important. You do that, you'll save yourself a whole world of problems if it starts getting tight and galling. Look up galling on YouTube or on Wikipedia, G-A-L-L-I-N-G, and that will tell you everything you need to know about galling. That's not what we want. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a special run of wrench and rover in oil cans for you. There you are. How about that? Now, let's save our other nut. They're both the same. So, see how easy that is? That's because I took out the preload. All right. Okay. Yes, push. Come on, Bill. And here we are. How's our bush look? How is it? Yeah, not that bad, to be honest. Yeah, not that bad. So that there is leftover rubber, so we're going to scrape him off. Okay, to the other side, Batman. Remember, make your life as easy as possible. I need to get in there, so what do? We've got both wheels up. Turn the wheel. Well, I found our problem. Let me see. This guy came loose. So we'll tighten him up and then just go over all of these and make sure they're all up to torque, okay? Because, yeah, that's not cool, is it? Anyway, we got one side off. We'll do the bushes as we're here. There's his friend. And, yeah, and call it a good one. And this. Wow. Now, yeah, we can see that this bush is a bit squished here, so we'll take this one off. One on the top, one on the bottom. Same as before. Rinse and repeat. You see what I'm doing here? Use a long wrench, long extension with a socket on the end. Because this is up against the whatever piece of our chassis, I just need to support the socket with 2 fingers, and then the chassis supports the head of our ratchet. How smart is that, huh? Remember? Look there. Can you see? It's a different size. How bizarre is that? Oh, by the way, what's that thing? Answers in a postcard, please. Want me to tell you? Starter motor. There it is, right at the back at the bottom. Perfect place to keep a very sensitive electrical item on a vehicle, hey? This heat shield, it's broken. It's cracked there. Almost all the way to the top. We've only got a couple of inches left, look. So that'll rattle away, won't it? A crack like that, if it was damaged when you're off and you hit a stone or something, it'd be more mangled. This is just vibrated loose. It's just cracked in the vibration, it'll go from there. I'll find out from Land Rover if there is something, and I'll get back to you. Because I know you're interested in these things, aren't you? Can you see that? There is a difference, there's a marked difference. Look, this one is oval and this one's mostly circular. Yeah, you can see where it's been squished at the bottom. This one's starting to crack on the side. When you get inside, you can see there where the discoloration is. That's where it's just been slowly ripping itself to bits. There we go, last little bit. Alright, this one's pretty good. As we've just done, we cleaned up here. Now, let's get our bush, open it up like so, and slip it on. Because we took off both sides, anti-roll bar is nice and free, so you can lift it up a bit, get your bush on, push it up against, there's a collar here, do you see that? Push it up against that collar, that's where it's meant to live. Right up against it. Okay, get it in place. Next, our cap. Make sure that the bush actually sits flat up against this. Don't put it in with a little bit of a twist. You're setting yourself up for failure doing that. Straight off. Right, I'll get a rubber mallet just to knock the last bit of this in, and then we can tighten up. Remember, just a love tap. There we go. We are in. Now the hardest one is going to be the bolt, so do him first. Just get one thread on. Give this a pull if you need. Jiggle, whatever it takes, don't cross thread it. Because that, remember, I'll give you a whole world of problems. There we go. Also, don't be tempted to put any oil on this. You don't need it at all. So we've got our nut on the bottom and our bolt on the top. Next is reverse of what we did to get it off. Tighten it up and then we'll do the other side. Okay, sorry, get that one half tight, then do the bottom half. It's important that we pull this up evenly, otherwise you run the risk of your bush not sitting in the correct space. And everyone wants their bush to be perfect, right? You don't want it lopsided. No one wants a lopsided bush, that would look terrible. Just bearing down on this and then it will start clamping up and basically compressing the bottom, and then you'll see it squish out ever so slightly because that's what it does, it's its job. Holds it in place and preloads it. Okay, almost there. Then we'll do his friend. Take that one, take the top one and tighten it up until it is tight, and then we'll come to the bottom again. Okay, and that is how it is. I know it looks a bit naff, but that's the design, alright? That's just our design. The main thing is that our bush is pushed firmly up against our collar. If you need to use a second hand or finger just to keep the spanner on the top so it doesn't wobble off or fall off, just do so. Just be careful that you're not going to crush your finger between any of the bits, because the last thing you want is to try and save $200 doing this yourself and then have to go to the ER because you damaged your finger. Who knows, it could be your favorite finger. I just want to say, whenever you're doing anything like this where you have something which is quite a precise fit, as in a screw, and then an imprecise fit, which is these plastic rivets, do the precise ones first, do the screws first, and then pop in the rivets. It'll make your life so much easier. Okay. All in all, I'm just astounded at the improvement in the ride. It's really good. Much more than I thought it was going to do. When I took them off, I thought, okay, there's a bit of wear. I've removed the hold down clamps. I may as well change these out. It makes a difference. I would say if there's anything on the car suspension wise you're like, do I, don't I? For the cost involved, which is like 30 or 40 bucks, change these things out. It makes such a difference. Such a difference. Top tip, right? So I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. We just did our roll bar, anti-roll bar bushes, sway bar bushes, however you want to call them. And yeah, I mean, you saw the difference with the new one and the old one. The deformation, the new ones, or the old ones rather, were, you know, half an inch longer than the new ones. I mean, just think how much force that you need on that rubber, how much you're squishing it to get it to deform that much permanently. It's incredible amount of force that's on these things, and it just goes to show that these are really heavy trucks. We're using them off-road, even on-road. I mean, the streets are terrible, the potholes everywhere, the things have an absolutely battered life. And the drop link, which is this thing here, had come loose. You know, I put them on. I swapped over this is the upper control arm from the front. I swapped these things over and I tightened it up, but that one worked its way loose. And it was this specific one here. You know, this is where it attaches to the sway bar end link. And yeah, it would come loose, and it just reminds me and reaffirms reaffirms that if you're going off-road with these things, you can't just assume everything's going to be okay. You have to, you get it back, have a quick look. All it takes is 10 minutes. Just raise the suspension up, swing the wheel left, have a look, is there anything loose? No, okay, check on the other side, swing the wheel the other way. And the same, have a glance underneath, around the back. You know, do it safely, but just have a look, is there anything hanging off? I mean, today we found a cracked heat shield and this end link, this drop link that had worked its way loose. You know, and we improved the handling of the car, I'm sure, quite a bit by changing the bushes. But yeah, you need to inspect and maintain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video which is the annual maintenance that you need to do, that the dealer would do. They have like a 30-point checklist that they go through, so we'll do that. So that's the baseline for the bare minimum that you should do to keep these things, to turn it into a 500,000 miler, right? That's what we want. So yeah, let's do all this stuff, let's get it all together, let's get it out there for the community so there's a reference, because everybody's a little bit confused sometimes. I am a lot. I just do a lot of research and I'm very good at interpreting technical literature. So yeah, here's to you, congratulations. If you follow this video and you do it and you get all your stuff together, then you've just changed your sway bar bushes. Also, you've had a look at a couple of the other things that you need to do, and now you understand why you've got an anti-roll bar, how it works, what one side does it and tries to impart it on the other, and then that keeps the entire car, the geometry right, and keeping the car upright. That's its job, that's how it works. So yeah, remember, if you're doing anything on your anti-roll bar, your sway bar, lift up the front of the car and have both wheels either hanging or loaded up with the weight of something on them. You know, one up and one down, it's really hard. Don't do that yourself. Keep it symmetrical, keep it simple, stupid. Okay? See you soon. Now.